Hello YouTube. The project I got for you this week is this bowl. As you see, it's black, there's I think magenta, and it does look pretty beautiful. The only problem with it was I had an unmitigated disaster with this one. I was going to delete this video and I was going to throw this in the bin, and a friend of mine persuaded me that I should be showing it, because if you have a look on the bottom you can see all air bubbles in there, and you can actually see, you look in there, you can actually see some of those air bubbles go right the way through. Now if you do watch a video, you'll see on there that I use an old cake tin, put a piece of card in there, and I use hot glue gun to hold the pieces of wood to it. And now I think I've had a chemical reaction between the hot glue and the resin. It's the only thing I can think, and I'm very tempted, and I think I will go ahead and do it. Instead of hot gluing the pieces of wood to the cardboard, I think I'm going to super glue it to the cardboard and see if that makes a difference. The bottom was the worst. I had it actually bulged. It was a plastic sweet tub that I use as a mould, and it actually bulged it at the bottom where there was so much air that had been produced underneath the cardboard. I've never seen nothing like that. I've never had a reaction like that before. I used Glass Cast 50. I've always used that. I found it to be absolutely brilliant product. I haven't got a pressure pot or a vacuum chamber, and that's why I use it, because it's the best one for degassing itself. And as I say, never had an issue like that before. So if you want to watch the video and see what went wrong with it, you see how not to reproduce that. But otherwise, what a shame, because that really is quite beautiful. And the video will follow this if you want to watch it. Hello YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. Project I'm going to do for you this week is a bit of resin. I've got some resin that's probably about at the end of its sell by date, and what I'm going to use is this old sweet tub that's left over from Christmas. I'm going to use that as a mould because it'll be a nice shaped sized bowl. Got a bit of cardboard, I've drawn a load of lines on there, and I'm going to use this piece of wood. It's left over from an old project. It's a lovely piece of wood. I'm not sure what wood that is. I'd like to say it's might be a bit of cedar, but I'm not 100% certain. But I'm going to cut it all up and fit into that bowl. Hope you like what I do with it. So the very first thing I've done is gone over onto bandsaw, and I've cut up these. They're 70mm by 80mm. I want to say squares, but if they're 70 by 80, they're not squares, they're rectangles. I've cut these 70 by 80mm rectangles. So next I've gone on, you see that, I've marked that, I'll take that over on the sander and sand that to that shape. So what I've done, I've drawn 16 lines on that piece of card, and I've also gone very faintly, I have got an outside circle on there to line up the outside. So what I'm doing at the moment is I've got 8 of those, I don't know what you call them, pointers. I've got 8 of those, so I'm going to go around and glue 8 of those to the cardboard. I just put some hot glue on my leg then, I didn't realise how hot that glue got. I stupidly then tried to wipe it off with my hand. I ended up with a burnt hand and a burnt leg. I'm wondering now if it was the hot glue that actually reacted with the resin to make it bubble up like that. Okay, so I've also cut 8 of these triangles as well, and I'm putting all 8 of these around the outside. Just a little bit of hot glue on the bottom, just to glue them to the cardboard, just to keep them all in place while I fill it with resin. These just go to the very outside of the card. So now for the resin pour. So I'll mix up some black and I'll mix in some red, magenta, and we'll pour them in separate and see what happens. So what I'm using is the glass cast. I always use this. I don't have a pressure pot or a vacuum chamber, and this is one of the best ones if you haven't got it. So that's the resin. And 100 hardener. We want a really good dark colour. Give that a mix. You see what I mean on there by that metallic colour. So this is the first pour of the black. These are 300mm cups. That's the second pour. I cut out all the mixing bit, you don't want to watch that. I've mixed up the magenta and I'm very gently pouring this in all the way around the outside. Just so I don't want it to, I want lumps of it together really. So that is the third cup of black. And that is a fourth, and then this is the last of the magenta. And what I'm hoping to see is streaks of this around the outside of the bowl. Whether I will or not, we'll have to wait and see. And what I'll do now is I'll leave this for 3 or 4 days and let the resin cure. Right, so I've left this overnight. I've taken out the mould, and it was a very hot night last night, but there's been some sort of reaction to this. I've never seen this before. For a start, it's gone all frothy. It's cracked. There's a big crack in there. Another huge crack in there. A big crack in there. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it go frothy like that. And it's all, as well, I don't know whether you can see that from there. It's almost like a volcano where it's welled up out of there and then poured out to the sides, and you've actually got pieces running around there. And I've never ever seen that before. I don't know whether that's some sort of reaction to this cedar or whether it's because it's old. Right, so I think what we need to do is get it on the lathe and see what it's like inside. There's quite a bit got to come off there, and as you can see, there's actually more holes than resin, I think. Those chips are coming out there and hitting the side of my hand, and that really hurts. So as you can see now from the video, I've moved around to the bottom of the bowl and I'm just cleaning the bottom of the bowl and cutting a recess for a chucking point in there, and you can still see all the massive air bubbles in there. So I'm just giving the final shape on the bottom of the bowl and then I'm just getting it ready for sanding. I've sanded that down to 600. As you'll see, there's dust all over that. It's got all of all those holes and everything are. Now I don't have a compressed air line, but I do have a airbrush, and I better find out whether that's strong enough to blow that dust out of there. And it is. Very good. That worked well. What I'm going to do now is put some sand and Cedar on there. Right, let's turn that around and hollow it. There we go, so that's all the outside finished. Now to hollowing. I've got all wood to take down there for a while, so I'll just use my standard bowl gauge for a while. I'm just carrying on hollowing this. I'm switching between tools because it's wood and resin. It's very difficult to know which tool to use. When I do use the carbide tip tools, the resin comes off and it peppers the side of my hand. I've actually got loads of cuts down the side of my hand. That's why I put the glove, and I've now gone to a ball nose scraper, and that seemed to deal with it a lot better. It's quite happy cutting the resin and it's quite happy cutting the wood. And I was getting quite a good finish off of it as well. What I got on there when I first started to try to turn that, it was chipping out quite badly. I had a big chip on there, you can see, and there's several, there's one, several smaller ones around there. So what I'm going to do is just gently turn the edge over, and then what I'm going to do is give that bowl a bit of an undercut. That's beautiful, that's all gone. And that's going to give me quite a nice shape on there as well. I quite like that. Right, let's get and sand that down. I'll get back to you when I've done that. So I think that's going to take me quite a while to do that. I'll get back to you when I'm done. Well, that's all sanded down there. And you see all of these big white bits in there. You can see that one very well. And clearly that shows up. You can see all of these, they're all holes that's filled up with dust. I will use my airbrush again just to go through and clean all that dust out of there. It's worked really well last time. The airbrush does work really well for that. Right. Give it a coat of sand sealer. Alright, now obviously all those holes in there, I can't use wax on there or any other finishing product, so what I'm going to do is spray it with lacquer. And I'm hoping I've put that on to protect the bed of my lathe. I put wood down there, I put a piece of paper over the top of my headstock, and I've wrapped a little masking tape around my chuck. So we're going to spray with lacquer. I've not used that lacquer before, but it says you can overspray it in 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll leave that. I'll come back in 15 minutes, give it another coat. Well, there you go, YouTubers. What a shame, because that looks really nice. I finished it off. I mean, I put so much work in that by cutting all that red cedar and everything up that I thought I might just get on and finish it off. But that feels so smooth in my hands, it's lovely. It really is nice. What I'm probably going to do is put that up on the shelf, and one day when I feel like it, I'll probably fill all those holes up. I'll get some resin and fill all those holes up. But that is such pretty, because that really does look nice. Never seen resin do that before. If anybody's watching that and they know why, leave a comment in the bottom. Let me know what you think. I don't know whether it's a reaction to that red cedar, whether it was because I mixed colours. I can't believe it was that. Whether it was because it was so hot down here that night. That is, you see that purple and the black is mixed together quite nicely. So there we go. Can't even say it's been a fun couple of days down in my workshop, because when you end up with something like that, it sort of takes your shine off it a little bit. But anyway, hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you all again next week. You take care of yourself. Bye bye.